of the night here, our final Pro League match of the week, and it's going to be between KT Rolster and Samsung, and this is a very important match for Samsung. There's our funny picture.
Oh god, man, please change that picture.
You and I didn't get an updated photo shoot. That's our Team Salmon nerd neck pics.
I'm like a turtle, man. Call me the turtle toss.
I want to see Moonglade in there too. We didn't have that yesterday.
Maybe next time. Well, we do have KT Rolster against Samsung Galaxy Con, as you did mention before. Match number 16. And this match matters so much for both teams, as you were mentioning. This is just a very big gap between the top 4 teams and the bottom 4 teams. KT Rolster so far not having a good start at all. They're 1-2, -3, and that's so surprising coming from the team that won Pro League last season.
Yeah, it's a rough start for them. This is just the first round. This is just kind of a warm-up for these teams, but still important, very important when you go into that playoffs. You want to make it there if you can. Now, Samsung wearing those amazing Samsung jackets. And our starting players, Zest versus Shine. This is going to be a great one. This is going to be epic because it's the master of slaying kings in Zest. It's the chisel toss up against a cheeser, but somebody who's also very great in late game CVP.
Yeah, something we weren't totally expecting, but then he did it a bunch of times, and we're like, oh, actually this guy is really good in the long game, too. He just likes to be aggressive at times. And the map we're going into is Foxtrot Labs. Moonglade very vocal about how he does not like this map, especially in certain spawns. And I can definitely agree with him on that point. We'll have to see where they spawn as we get into this.
We saw Dark actually die in this map in this matchup to just some Warp Prism aggression into an Immortal follow-up just very recently. It's tough to hold your third base. The rush distance is not very far at all. Yeah. Even though you're forced to cross, it's like still pretty close.
Yeah, man.
I wish I could say
that new map, Secret Spring.
Yeah.
We were playing that a lot. That's
let's say some of our new maps.
Not so sure about that one, man.
Some of our new maps in the ladder pool, man. I better start.
Got to start
swapping those out. Yeah, I don't know. I hope those don't make it into next round of Pro League and/or in SSL.
Oh God, please no. Well, guys, here are the rosters for today's match of KT Rolster versus Samsung Galaxy Con. Of course, it is Zest versus Shine. They did go ahead and fix this CG for that one, as the first matchup here should be an interesting one. And then we go into Action, who, funnily enough, has an upwards red arrow, even though we haven't seen him in quite a while, up against Deer, a guy who is, coming back into his true form. Really excited to see him play today, actually.
Yeah. Now, Flash, of course, will play against Bravo. Somebody won a TBT against Byung. Byung's only loss, in fact, so far. And then TY will face against Guilty. So a ton of TBT today. We're going to actually have 4 TBT matches. That's more than I think we've ever had in a day of Pro League before.
That's
at least
impressive.
4, by the way. We could have a 5th one, potentially, on Deadwing in the Ace match. So just keep that in mind. Now, by the way, just talking about indicator arrows, this is based on, we cracked the code in the break.
Yeah, it's not a very hard code.
We're actually very close with the guy who, as I mentioned before, who actually does this. And perhaps with some feedback from you guys, we might decide to change how that arrow is done, make it more like last season, because I think that was much better. Well, let's jump into this coach interview here. Ayul is with us with these coaches.
감독님, 오늘 판타스틱 4가 아닌 판타스틱 3 플러스 오랜만에 출전하는 김성대 선수를 볼 수가 있는데요.
네.
So today, instead of the Fantastic 4, it looks like the Fantastic 3 plus Action, I guess.
경기 나온 만큼 굉장히 준비를 많이 했고요. 그리고 오늘 승리할 수 있도록 제가 열심히.
Well, since he's coming out today, Action, he prepared a ton for this matchup.
그리고 내용으로서 직접 평가해 주시면 될 것 같아요.
And him and the other coaches of KT prepared a ton of matches with him, or prepared a ton for the match with him, and you should look for that in his game today.
Well, we're going to be hearing from Stork now. It's his 10th anniversary of being a pro gamer today. As you guys can see here.
Yep, we got a coffee.
Yeah, I got a coffee, but I want some of those cookies, man. So any of the comments for the fans who have been supportive here for 10 years? So he's been really thankful for his fans. He says he didn't even realize it's been 10 years. Everyone thinks I'm just focusing on coaching, but I've actually been recently really practicing and playing a ton of games. So look forward to seeing me as a player in the future as well.
지금 비시즌 때 좀 많이 놀아가지고 지금 열심히 하고 있고 잘한다면은
And you get to practice
다음
in the off season. So I just started practicing recently.
네, 송병구 코치님의 멋진 활약 기대해 보도록
My skill
하겠습니다.
improves.
각각 1승 2패를
I might end
기록하고
up playing
있는
in
두
Pro
팀입니다. 과연 어떤 팀이 2승을 기록하게 될까요?
And in the new
지금까지
individual
아이디어고요.
leagues as
중계
well.
전화주세요.
네. Stork fans may be able to see this guy soon.
멘트를 굉장히 잘 받아주는 것 같아요.
워낙 예전부터 선수 시절 때부터
네.
So,
Yeah, pretty cool little interview there from Stork, getting to hear some extra, real personality sneaking in there, and this is what Stork's known for his interviews. I think one of the best coaches at actually, showing how he really feels about the game, as well as, where his team is at right now, going from being the basically captain of the team into now being not only a player but a coach, stepping back from the player role a little bit. He said he wasn't really able to practice a lot during the offseason, probably because he was setting up things for Pro League, getting ready for what was happening here, moving into that coaching role, understanding the responsibilities of taking that role on a little bit more directly.
Yeah. I can't wait to see when he comes back what his actual, how he's playing, how he's going to play, if he's going to do well, because he says he's practicing hard, but again, if you don't practice for a while, you can definitely fall down in terms of skill.
Yeah, it can atrophy a little bit for sure. Yeah. Some people are the type of people to, play a game for a little while, even like a week or so. It's insanely hard for them to get back into it. Some people are able to just sit back down and jump right back on it. Players like Effort, for example, we saw this out of him. We saw, who else? I mean, even Marine King actually rising back to power quite quickly is a huge example of this, because even though he hasn't shown the same results he was showing when he was on top of the world, he's actually in the new place of the new era of StarCraft, which is so much stronger than when he was on top. He's actually still playing consistently well. That's actually quite an achievement in itself to qualify and to play, consistently in Pro League, to be sent out consistently. Obviously, still one of the top Terrans, even though he's not the top Terran. To come back after taking a break is pretty huge.
So going into predictions here, we have one guy. It's Daehyun, the analyst over there for the Korean desk, voting for Shine, whereas 5 of us go for Zest. I feel like Zest, kind of the more obvious pick, I guess, the favorite in this matchup. But again, Shine, he's tricky at times, and like you said before, he can definitely show a great ZVP late game.
Don't fault Daehyun for picking Shine, because Shine, like you just mentioned, that late game ZVP I was talking about is solid. He can take a win from time to time with Cheese. He's a flexible player. He's got a lot of strengths, and that makes him scary, similar to kind of Lucira. I feel like he's like almost picking him for the same reason I picked Lucira earlier, even though he doesn't have the same results that Zest has had recently. But at the same time, Zest has a lot more games that Shine can study, can really get into Zest's head by watching VODs, prepare a Cheese, or just prepare his already strong late-game ZVP. So I don't think that vote is far-fetched. In fact, I thought about it quite a bit, but I was like, I still have to go with Zest here. I don't feel the same as when I feel about Bjol, who just came off of a loss against Terror.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. One of the things that factored into my vote, like you were mentioning before, Zest against Dark on this map, where Zest crushed him after Dark really made a bad call there, made a bunch of drones. But I feel like Zest, he kind of knows this map. He's like, this is not good for Zergs with their third base. If I just play aggressive, I can shut it down. And I wonder if Shine's going to take that into account and say, I don't want to go late game on this map. I want to go 2-base Roach all in or something. Just try to kill Zest before he ramps up. I don't know. We're going to have to see.
Yeah, we will have to see. I'm really curious to see what Shine's going to do. I mean, he might even do an early pool, try to throw things off a little bit, get into Zest's head so that Zest can't do a timing like that, where it kind of messes up the tempo, messes up kind of the timings, and makes him play a little bit more of a scrappy game where he's quite comfortable, where he's actually quite experienced. That would be something that I'd like to see as well.
Hey, guys. Welcome to the studio. So you're wearing those English headsets.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming down to Korea. You made the trip.
Yeah, you guys made the trip. You guys are here, and I hope you guys can stay a little bit longer. Come and catch the SSL on Thursday. And, of course, the GSL is tomorrow and Friday as well. So if you want to catch all the StarCraft, absolutely go down to the
There's StarCraft
studio.
every single day, 5 days a week. It's actually insane. Every week. There's so much StarCraft here in Korea right now.
5 days a week. It's crazy.
It's so hard for people to stay up every night and watch it, actually, especially if you're over there in America. Maybe a little bit easier for your European guys, but definitely try to catch as much as possible. We have the incredible amount of good players out here.
Yeah.
And just amazing games being played.
Best players in the world. I mean, so much so that we have fans from outside of Korea flying all the way to Korea, to watch these games.
and players trying to come in and compete but not doing so well. But anyway, jumping right into this one, we got Zest. He has been a huge force for KT so far, especially in ace matches and the playoffs as well. That's what I'm trying to say. His win ratio against Zerg is actually insane. He's 16-6. That's probably one of the best we have actually out of any player in Pro League in one matchup.
He's played the matchup a ton, and he seems to seek out Zerg players. We've had a few PVZs already. He already won one against Dark, as mentioned before, on this map. And Shine, his opponent here, like I always say, he'll six-pool your mom in her first practice game before he teaches her how to play. He's 7-15 versus Protoss. He's got a negative record. He's 16-24. He did lose an ace match once before, but this guy is solid. And the day he unvote for him, I don't even fault him. I don't even say that's weird or crazy. It's the map, too, that factors into this a little bit for me as well. I feel like if Zest can play his tempo play, I just worry for Shine.
Yeah, bit of an interesting pick, but like you said, Shine could definitely pull something off. These two guys definitely very friendly. We actually saw them smiling, smirking at each other as they went for the handshake, and they were talking a bit before they went into the game there. And they were like, oh, just have fun, and just play your best, try your best. I know you practiced a lot, stuff like that.
Just some friendly banter. These guys clearly respect each other. But guys, let's go into our first match. A PVZ, Zest versus Shine, KT versus Samsung here at the SPL.
Down here in the bottom right, in the red, the Protoss player for KT is Zest. Zest is best. Best is Zest.
God of infight. To the top left in blue. For Samsung, it's Shine. I might have to ask Sojung or somebody about that one. I don't know that reference.
God of infight, and then there was like a Haunter down there in the bottom right, and it said Phantom. Not exactly sure what's going on with that one.
Maybe he's a Pokemon fan. I actually bought Auras last night. Haven't played it yet. About to do some traveling coming up. Gonna be fun. Maybe I'll get a Haunter. Just think of Zest. Think of that sign. I don't know if you have to trade to evolve him anymore.
I'm not sure either. Well, Pylon on the low ground here, probably going to be a Forge.
Yes.
Just to be annoying.
Almost 100%.
Yeah.
Could be, obviously just, based on what we're seeing here, a Nexus first here as well. But there goes that probe to make the Forge. I think in Shine, a Forge versus a Nexus first is always going to be the safer choice, as this guy is cheesy. Not as likely as Sulky to six-pool you. But he definitely already considered. His coach said, remember, don't six-pool. He's like, oh, yeah, right.
You got to remind him before he gets in the booth. You're like, please, don't six-pool this time. He's like, oh, okay, all right.
He's like, what was the plan again? I six-pool him, right? No, don't do that. Okay, so checks the gold base first. And it is a hatch first with double droning afterwards, so this absolutely could be cannoned. In fact, there's no Overlord.
Oh, my God.
There's no Overlord nearby. He's going to...
This could be deadly, man.
He's going to cannon the ramp, potentially. Oh, wow, he's just going to do a wall back here.
Shine just, he doesn't see this at all.
He has
no drone at the bottom of the ramp. I have to say, this kind of thing on this map is not that common, so maybe he's just like, oh, it's probably not going to happen. But it's happening, Shine. It's happening fast. Already 2 pylons down.
And you know what? He sees the second probe coming, so right now he probably feels safe. He's like, oh, okay, you're scouting really late. That's fine. Probably went Nexus first or something, getting some extra minerals. This is going to be disastrous, potentially. I mean, there's literally no answer for this. He's just now going to be like, okay, let me see. Oh, there's a probe ramp. Oh, there's a cannon. Oh, no, I can't do anything about that. Probably going to go take the gold base and cancel that base.
Yep, that's what that looks like. That drone is going out for. Immediately going there. An immediate cancel.
He can block the drone.
Ooh, gets it. Gets the kill here.
Nice.
Very important. So now the gold coming out.
So late, though. so late.
It's late, and it might force Shine into a weird position where if he wants to clear the cannon at the bottom of the ramp, it's going to take a while. Your third base is going to be late, and Zest could just follow up with a timing attack and kill you, maybe +1, 6 gate, something, even Immortals dropped in there. But again, if you try to go for something aggressive, Zest can just scout you, make a bunch of cannons, and be safe off of that Nexus. Immediately we see a Baneling Nest on the way, so I think we're going to see that aggressive style out of Shine.
Yeah, I mean, Shine with the gold base, I mean, he can't really get drones over there, but the drones he does make, that start mining, will be able to get some extra minerals, and he can make a few extra Zerglings from there, take the gas from the main, and just try to Baneling attack the base of Zest, potentially. If he tries to Baneling bust those pylons, it's just so expensive, and Zest will already have his base up and running back at home. But, I mean, in this situation, you're kind of in a lose-lose position. There's no good choice. You just have to make some tough choices on how you're going to attempt to break free here. He's pulling a bunch of lings. He may just try to run past and then morph Banelings with those lings he's made in the main. Because, I mean, busting 2 pylons down is going to cost a lot of Banelings. I think he's just going to run by here.
Speed finishes. He's starting to run down the ramp now. Does not go for the cannons at all. And, of course, Zest does see this. How does he respond? He's making sentries here. He's trying to chrono boost that out. He's making another cannon. He's got a nice wall over there, but of course, that's a lot of speedlings that can run around that mineral line and into the main if he is not getting that sentry out in time.
Yeah, that sentry is actually not ready yet. He's just going to wait, though, and get Banelings first. Oh, this is so scary. This is a situation where Shine might just be like, oh, you are trying to force me to cheese? Well, I love doing that. I'm going to be aggressive here.
On this map, with the minerals attached to that wall, you can actually just put a gateway in it. Well, there's a little hole there. Yeah, he's just going to go in.
He needs the force field and just block those from hitting the cannon, and there it goes. The second sentry pops out here, and this should just be the end.
Yeah.
You know, it was a scary moment here for for Zest if he didn't have that sentry out, but even the second one comes. Then what are you going to do? I mean, he's got a gold base. He's trying to drone now.
But again, there's a follow-up. Like I was saying before, Zest, he's like, okay, what have you got? Maybe you got a gold, but you have no natural. You're on 2 base. Let me just make a bunch of gates. He's already making the +1 here. You can just 4-gate pressure, man. There's going to be a lot of units out fast for the Protoss. You've only got Baneling Tech for Shine the Zerg. It's going to be pretty hard.
Not only does he have, a base that's not connected by creep and it's far away, but the minerals are just exposed by range. Like, you can just sit behind them with stalkers and kill the drones.
As you guys were talking about yesterday, actually, against Terran on this map, Life against Maru, Life was somehow able to make it work anyway. But
it's a very similar principle. Range chance can shoot over those minerals. Simple as that. Now, a ton of drones coming down. He's got speedlings to kind of control the map for now. But the longer he's stuck on 2 bases, it becomes an issue, because this is not just about the minerals, but also about the gas that he'll be missing the longer this time goes on. And the fact that he's on 2 base versus 2 base of a Protoss who has, a great amount of saturation. Oh, wow.
I even forgot he had the pylons over here. I'm like, how's he going to do this? He's just going to walk out. No, he's got the pylons and cannons, so he can walk back to those for defense as well. The Roach Warren is not even halfway done.
Nope. And that Queen was the one that had more energy that could have transfused. A little bit of a late reaction to pull that one back. And these Zealots can just ignore the other Queen and come over here, force drones off the line. When you barely have mining, when you're stuck on 2 base and one of your bases isn't even mining, you're fighting with drones, you've lost the game. He's down 20 supply here. A second wave of Zealots comes in here to finish off the rest of these Zerglings.
Yep, and that's all he's got to make.
He's about to have +1.
Core being super annoying. GG called. That's it. So Zest, Cannon Rush into a follow-up. Easily able to take that one. Again, we said it before, not the best map for Zerg, especially if you do not scout a Cannon Rush coming your way. You can't take your natural. It's not going to go well for you.
Yeah, I mean, he clearly had no fear about cannons. He was like, there's no way cannons me. Didn't send a drone down until it was way too late. Like, if that was a regular type of cannon, it would have been too late. He doesn't have an Overlord spotter. He doesn't drone scout at all. And then when it happens to him, he's just like, oh, well, I went 2 drones into a gas into pool. Guess I hope I can get a drone out there to make that hatch. Which he did, of course, with the cancel on his original hatch. It was so late. It's a delayed reaction. And when that happens, when your natural gets taken from you and your ramp is controlled like that, you've almost lost the game there. The unique situation that occurs on this map is that you've got a gold base, so you can get some extra mining and some extra reinforcing power. And Shine, he loves his all-ins. Didn't have enough banelings to just bust through that wall of the force field.
At that moment, it was like basically you've got just 2 hatcheries, but you've only got 1 base mining, and you're going banelings against a Protoss who's got a wall with sentries, so it's just not going to work.
I wonder what would have happened if he had attacked with his speedlings and poked and maybe forced a sentry to use a force field before he showed his banelings. Maybe that could have been something for him. I don't know. It's a tough situation no matter what.
Maybe could have, microed a little bit better there. But regardless, Zest able to take that one. We're going into Action versus Deer, a match I really want to see because we haven't seen Action yet in 2015, and Deer's been playing outstanding. So far, he's 2-0 here. He's doing well in individual leagues as well.
Yeah. Now, Action has a great record in Pro League. The reason why he has the up arrow is because he's on a really good winning streak. He gets sent out very rarely. Yeah, but he doesn't lose when he comes out. He just does not lose.
True.
And if he could continue that trend, even though he's a player that most people would say, I don't really know if he's looking so good these days. He's not playing a lot of tournaments. Because he keeps winning, that's kind of scary in itself. It's like one of these players that KT has they don't really have to rely on. He's the 3+, as was mentioned earlier by IU. He's the plus.
The extra guy there.
Yeah.